In this video, we're going to talk about some of the ways that words relate to one another, or lexical relations. Most lexical relations are taught in school. We learn about synonyms and antonyms, for example, very early in our schooling. The same is true of many of the others, even if we don't label them as such. I'm going to discuss synonymy, antonymy, eponymy, prototypes, homophones, homonyms, and polysemy. Synonyms have the same or similar meaning. For example, his reply is a synonym for his answer. Gulped is a synonym for swallowed. Although they have mostly the same meanings, the meanings are not exactly the same. We might say, I can't believe he swallowed that lie, but we wouldn't say, I can't believe he gulped that lie. But there are many sentences in which either one would be appropriate. Forms with the opposite meaning from each other are called antonyms, and there's two kinds of antonyms. There are antonyms that are gradable and antonyms that are non-gradable. When antonyms are gradable, we would say that their meanings are opposite one another but along a cline. There's big and smaller opposites, but there's bigger and there's smaller, and you can make comparisons. You can say you're big, but I'm bigger than you. You can have big, bigger, and biggest, but you can't have alive, aliver, and alivest. Non-gradable antonyms don't exist along a cline. They exist in opposition to one another, but more in a binary state. You can't usually make comparisons between non-gradable antonyms. Hyponyms are words in which, pairs of words in which one word encapsulates another. For example, rose is a hyponym of flower, and shoe is a hyponym of footwear. Which is to say, roses are a kind of flower, or flowers is a category which includes many different kinds, roses, tulips, for example. Or shoe is a kind of footwear. Footwear is a category which includes different kinds, for example, boots, shoes, sandals, etc. When one word is a prototype of another, what we're suggesting is that amongst all the different kinds of this type, this is the most exemplary type. This is the best example of that type. For example, if I asked you to close your eyes and picture a bird, the bird that might come to mind would probably look something like a robin, although that might depend on where you are in the world. Now, I've suggested that Kleenex is a prototype of tissue, but that almost gets confusing with the other possible meanings of prototypes, as in the first model of a product. Both homophones and homonyms involve sameness. One involves the same sound, one involves the same names. So the homophone has different written forms but the same sound. The homonym has the same written form and the same sound. So some examples for homophones would be right, as in I write or to write, and right as in correct. They have the same sound but different written forms. Homophones that often get confused would be your and your. Now, homonyms have the same written form and the same sound. So a mole could be a mole on your skin, or it could be a small animal. We can set something down on a table, but we could also buy a set of books or CDs. With polysemy, we're talking about the same form and related meanings. For example, there are many different kinds of head: the head of beer, the head of a corporation, the head of the class, and all of these have the same form and related meanings. They all kind of suggest being on top of something. Chair. A chair can be something you sit in. The person who sits in a chair at the head of the table leads a meeting, so to chair could be to chair a meeting, and the chair could be the person who leads a meeting. If you went to the education department and you asked to see the chair and they showed you a recliner, you would be rather surprised, as the two are very different things, but their meanings are related.